From silver screens to soulful stages, these stars gave us everything: laughter, tears, inspiration. Yet behind the spotlight, their lives crumbled into poverty, addiction, or oblivion. Here are 22 iconic celebrities whose final days were as tragic as they were overlooked. Judy Garland. Judy Garland was America's sweetheart, her voice in The Wizard of Oz, a beacon of hope. As Dorothy, she sang Over the Rainbow, but her life was far from a fairy tale. Forced into stardom at 16, MGM controlled her diet, sleep, and even her weight with pills. Addiction took hold early. By her 40s, multiple divorces and tax debts and erratic performances left her broke. In 1969, at 47, she was found dead in a London apartment from a barbiturate overdose. Alone, her bank account empty, a legend whose light burned out too soon. Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye, the Prince of Motown, redefined soul with What's Going On. His music spoke of love and justice, but his life was chaos. Struggling with cocaine addiction and IRS debts, he fled to Europe, only to return broke. Living with his parents, tensions boiled over. In 1984, a day shy of 45, he was shot dead by his father during a heated argument. The voice that healed millions was silenced in senseless tragedy, his genius cut short. Bela Lugosi. Bela Lugosi's haunting eyes as Dracula made him horror's first icon. His Hungarian accent and elegance captivated 1930s audiences, but Hollywood typecast him as a villain. Unable to break free, he took B-movie roles, battling morphine addiction from war injuries. By the 1950s, he was destitute, living in a tiny apartment. In 1956, at 73, he died of a heart attack, clutching a script, ignored by the industry he helped build, a king of shadows, forgotten in the light. Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney, the pint-sized powerhouse, was Hollywood's top star in the 1930s. His Andy Hardy films and Broadway energy charmed millions. But 8 marriages, gambling, and bad investments drained his fortune. In his 80s, he hustled for small TV roles and fan conventions, living modestly. In 2014, at 93, he died amid family disputes over his estate, his name a faint echo of his golden years, a legend who deserved better. Corey Haim. Corey Haim was the 1980s teen idol, stealing hearts and the Lost Boys. Fame came at 15, but with it, drugs. Abused on set as a child, he spiraled into addiction, derailing his career. By his 30s, he was a has-been, living in cheap apartments, chasing reality TV gigs. In 2010, at 38, he died of pneumonia, his body weakened by years of substance abuse. A young star chewed up by Hollywood's machine. Sammy Davis Jr., Sammy Davis Jr., the Rat Pack's triple threat, dazzled with song, dance, and charm. Despite racism and a glass eye from a car crash, he broke barriers, but lavish spending and throat cancer drained his wealth. In his final years, he performed to pay medical bills, his voice fading. In 1990, at 64, he died bankrupt, the IRS seizing his estate. A trailblazer who gave all, left with nothing. Billie Holiday. Billie Holiday's voice carried the pain of strange fruit, a cry against racism. Born into poverty, she faced abuse and segregation, finding solace in music and heroin. Her addiction led to arrests, even as she performed sold-out shows. In 1959, at 44, she died handcuffed to a hospital bed, arrested for drug possession, with 70 cents taped to her body. Her songs endure, but her suffering was hers alone. These stories of talent and tragedy are too important to fade. If they move you, please subscribe and hit the bell. It takes a second but helps us honor these forgotten stars. Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn, The swashbuckling star of The Adventures of Robin Hood was Hollywood's ultimate heartthrob. His charisma hid a darker reality: alcohol, drugs, and scandals, including a statutory rape trial. By his 50s, his looks and career had faded, and he was broke, living off yacht parties. In 1959, at 50, he died of a heart attack in Vancouver, his body ravaged by excess. A hero on screen, a broken man off it. Veronica Lake. Veronica Lake's peekaboo hair and sultry roles in Sullivan's Travels made her a 1940s icon, but her sharp tongue and mental health struggles alienated studios. Alcoholism took over, and by the 1960s she was a New York barmaid, unrecognized by patrons. In 1973, at 50, she died of hepatitis in a Vermont hospital. Alone, her glamour, a distant memory, a star who fell too far. Buster Keaton. Buster Keaton, the stone-faced genius of silent comedy, crafted masterpieces like The General. The shift to talkies and a bitter divorce crushed him. Alcoholism sidelined his career, and he took bit parts to survive. Though he earned late career respect, he lived simply. In 1966, at 70, he died of lung cancer, quietly, a pioneer whose laughter hid his pain. Dorothy Dandridge. Dorothy Dandridge, the first black woman nominated for a Best Actress Oscar for Carmen Jones, broke Hollywood's color barrier. Racism limited her roles, and personal tragedies, divorce, a disabled daughter, piled up. Bankrupt and battling depression, she died in 1965 at 42 from an overdose, possibly accidental. Her trailblazing talent deserved far more. Rosco Fatty Arbuckle. Rosco Arbuckle, the silent film comic, rivaled Chaplin with his slapstick charm. The 1921 scandal, falsely accused of manslaughter, destroyed his career despite acquittal. Banned from films, he worked under pseudonyms, his spirit broken. In 1933, at 46, he died of a heart attack, shunned by the industry he helped create. A giant reduced to ashes. John Garfield. John Garfield, the brooding star of The Postman Always Rings Twice, was noir's rebel. His leftist politics led to Hollywood's blacklist during the Red Scare. Shunned, he suffered heart issues from stress. In 1952, at 39, he died of a heart attack, alone in a friend's apartment. His career stolen by fear-mongering. A voice silenced too soon. Marie Provost. Marie Provost, a silent film beauty in the marriage circle shown in the 1920s. Talkies exposed her voice as unfit, and alcoholism and weight gain ended her leading roles. By the 1930s, she was a struggling extra, living in a rundown apartment. In 1937, at 40, she died of starvation and alcohol poisoning, found days later, a starlet starved by neglect. Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde, the literary genius behind The Picture of Dorian Gray, dazzled Victorian England with wit. His homosexuality led to imprisonment, ruining his health and fortune. Exiled in France, he lived in cheap hotels, shunned by society. In 1900, at 46, he died of meningitis in Paris. Penniless, his brilliance buried under scandal. A mind too bright for his time. Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra, the voice of My Way, ruled music and film. His Rat Pack swagger hid battles, alcohol, mob ties, and a fading career in the 1970s. Though he regained fame, heart and neurological issues plagued him. In 1998, at 82, he died after a heart attack, his later years marred by isolation and health struggles. A titan dimmed. Bud Abbott. Bud Abbott, half of Abbott and Costello, brought laughter with Who's on First. His straight man genius filled theaters, but tax debts and Costello's death in 1959 broke him. Alcoholism and epilepsy worsened. He lived in a modest apartment. In 1974, at 78, he died of cancer, nearly penniless, his legacy overshadowed. Barbara Hutton. Barbara Hutton, the poor little rich girl, inherited a Woolworth fortune at 12. Her wealth bought mansions, but not happiness. 7 divorces, anorexia, and drug dependency drained her. By the 1970s, she was near broke, isolated in a Beverly Hills hotel. In 1979, at 66, she died of a heart attack. Her fortune gone, her life a cautionary tale. Joe Louis. Joe Louis, the Brown Bomber, was boxing's heavyweight king in the 1930s to 40s. His victories uplifted Black America, but tax debts haunted him. He worked as a Vegas greeter, battling drug addiction and paranoia. In 1981, at 66, he died of a heart attack, broke, his glory a distant memory. Gary Coleman. Gary Coleman, the child star of Different Strokes, charmed as Arnold. Fame at 10 brought wealth, but abusive parents and lawsuits bled him dry. Health issues and dialysis costs mounted. In 2010, at 42, he died after a fall, living modestly, his childhood stolen by greed.